Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. We begin today MLB The Show's new franchise. I've been excited to get started with this. We, of course, had to finish up the 25 series where we took the Pittsburgh Pirates all the way and won the whole damn thing. We're going to see if we can do it again. And here on a new game, we're starting a new franchise with a team that I have not used before. It is going to be the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, I know that this is a good team. There's no denying that. Right now, this is, at the very least, a playoff contender. They're expected to reach the postseason, and for good reason. They've got a good MLB squad. But I think the challenge and the fun is going to be what happens with the Milwaukee Brewers years from now. With a budget of $155 million, it's not considerably high and it's not terribly low. It's pretty much in the middle of the pack, and I feel like that gives us enough wiggle room and opportunity to play around in free agency or possibly trading some players. But the farm system is also ranked 23rd overall out of all MLB teams, and in fact, I think it's actually a little worse than that. Let's take a quick look. So when looking at a farm system, I start at high A, the lowest that they have in this game. And I just take a quick look at some ages, overalls, and potentials. Not necessarily the positions, but just looking at it, the highest rated player in the high A roster is Brady Ebel. I hope I'm saying that right. If not, it's fine. He'll never watch this. He's 18 years old. He's a 62 overall with C potential. And it doesn't really get better than that from here. We've got C's and D's just all the way down. No real promising or standout players here. These guys that are in the 60s with C potential may end up reaching the show, and they might contribute, but it's a far cry from being a sure thing. Double A does have some more exciting prospects, though, and Jesus Made, or Made, I'm not sure how to say it. It doesn't have the accent after the E, so Jesus Made, maybe, I don't know. He's 18 years old, starting at a 68 overall with A potential. This looks to be the future at shortstop, and that's cool because that gives us one building block less to worry about. Brock Wilken at third base also could be promising and could make an appearance in the show sooner than later, as a 67 overall is enough to tread water in most MLB systems. Cooper Pratt at shortstop is another promising young guy. He's 21 years old, starting at 64, and he's got B potential. So we have some options so far at short between Jesus and Cooper. So I don't feel like we're going to really have to worry about that very much. And beyond that, there is one other player, not here in Double A, but there's somebody. Yes, Triple A, they list Quinn Priester. I think that's clearly going to be a starter. The opening day rosters are a little strange sometimes. I'm also looking at Logan Henderson, a starting pitcher, 24 years old, 69 overall with B potential. These guys I expect to be there very quickly. Jefferson Cuero, a catcher with 65 overall to start at 23 years old, B potential as well. Jet Williams at shortstop. Yeah, shortstop we're not going to have to worry about. That's for sure. But the rest of this squad here between A, double, and triple A is all just kind of guys that, they may end up making it at some point, but I would say most likely not. For most of these young guys, the dream will never come true. And that leaves us in a position of retooling and rebuilding. Now, the major league roster, like I said, is expected to make the playoffs or be very seriously in contention for it. We've got plenty of guys that are either middle or very younger aged. Guys like Jackson Chourio at 22 in right field, he's going to be there for a long time. There's no doubt about it. But then we've got other guys. Brandon Woodruff, 33 years old. And despite that A potential and 91 overall, the question is, how long can he keep performing and how long do we keep him? At 34 years old, Christian Yelich in left field probably won't be on the team very much longer. We've got standouts and expected all-star and Cy Young winners like Jacob Misarowski. I would really, really love to keep him for a long time, and at 23 years old, I think we'll be able to do just that. Abner Uribe is a closing pitcher right now for the Brewers, 25 years old and 80 overall with B potential. I think that we could probably keep him, and it's funny because I've got some history with this guy through previous franchises. We've got Chad Patrick, Garrett Mitchell, and Joey Ortiz all at 27 years old and nearly the same overall rating and B potential. So there's guys here that I expect to have very good seasons this year, but it's looking forward. It's looking beyond and looking at the future. And I don't think right now the Milwaukee Brewers are set to have a successful franchise in the years to come. And that is where we will enter today. How I'm going to be playing this franchise is every setting on manual. I'll be taking care of all of the nitty-gritty details down to the renewable contracts. I'm even doing those myself. So I want full control. I want everything to be under my microscope and under my strategic direction for this team. For the custom game entry conditions, I have it set just a tick higher than medium. I'm leaving the earliest inning that we'll enter the game at just the first inning because if something crazy happens right away, I'd rather be notified about it and given the option rather than look back at a box score and figure out that, you know, we dumped 7 runs on a team in the first inning. If it's something crazy like that, that's really rare, I don't want to arbitrarily limit it and say, only bring me in the 5th inning, you know? So we're going to get a lot of gameplay notifications here to step in addition to some very full games or player locks that I'll be doing. So there's going to be plenty of gameplay throughout this franchise, and I'm really excited to get started. Let's see what other options we have. It's either spring training or the regular season. And for the sake of trying to move quicker in my franchises, I've done the Rays franchise on this channel and recently concluded the Pirates franchise. I went 3 years with them and I felt like the pace was okay, but it could definitely be better. And so I'm going to look forward to moving through the first few seasons a little bit quicker than maybe I have in the past. We'll see what happens. So one of the first things that you need to do when starting a new franchise is, of course, review your coaching staff. We've got manager Pat Murphy on a 4-year deal for $4 million. He brings a +2 to plate vision and +2 to speed. I'm happy with that, and I also like the additional pitching clutch. Dave Estrada, however, as the hitting coach, is a negative across the board. He does not do anything to prevent negatives from coming into this team. This guy is awful. We need to get rid of him right away. Chris Hook, the pitching coach, is also similarly terrible. He does have a +1 to hits per 9, which is nice, but as a hitting coach, he has negatives to pitching clutch, home runs per 9, and velocity. So he's got to go. The first base coach is Enzo Crivello, and he does have a great addition to stealing. It's +3, but on the field, he will have negatives to reaction and also durability of our players. So I don't like that. He's going to go as well. Our third base coach has -2 to arm strength and -3 to fielding. Absolutely unacceptable. And our farm director is actually limiting contact and control. He's negative on 2 sides of the ball. See ya. And so all that being said, the only survivor here after the tribe has spoken is Pat Murphy for 4 years. So we'll put together a new coaching staff, and I'll tell you what we've got in a second. All right, so the staff has been overhauled. For the hitting coach, we've got a +2 to bunting, which I'm not really too worried about, but I do like the +1 to clutch and contact. For the pitching coach, we will be limiting home runs. We'll be adding to the control, clutch, and stamina. The first base coach will assist with stealing, fielding, arm strength, and durability. The third base coach will assist with fielding, stealing, blocking, and add 2 to speed. And the farm director is the only guy I could find that had really anything worthwhile, which is the +1 to fielding, and it is a negative to stamina, but we've evened that out with our other coaching staff that adds more to stamina. So it's still a net positive there, but this is the best that I've got available, and I signed everybody to a 5-year contract. Taking a look at the depth chart now gives us an idea of how solid these positions are coming into up to the year 2030. So looking at third base, where we are ranked 25th in baseball, it's David Hamilton right now with Rengifo on the last year of his deal. Into 27, Brock Wilken takes over as the backup third baseman. Hamilton's projected to be a 72. Into 28, only increasing by 1 point. And then Joey Ortiz, ranked as an 80, is projected to make the MLB squad, but it's also the last year of his contract and Hamilton. So third base, yeah, pretty much a crapshoot of mediocrity over there. At shortstop, Ortiz is primarily there. Rengifo, again, is leaving. Jesus is probably going to take over that shortstop position, but it's projected to be up in 2029. I'm hoping that he's going to develop faster than that. At first base with Andrew Vaughn, he's a 74 with no backup right now. And in 2027, it's the final year of his contract. Another one that we'll need to figure out something very quickly. And while I'm in 2027, down behind the plate is William Contreras. He's projected to be gone after that. It's the final year of his contract. So behind the dish, at first base, third base, and possibly shortstop are looking pretty grim over the next few years. Moving back into the field, Christian Yelich had left, Sal Frelick at center, and Jackson Chourio in right. Looks to be the squad primarily for at least 2029. I would like to upgrade Yelich in that position in left field. I think that the other two are most likely fine there, but Sal Frelick probably not going to last that long either. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him, but I don't know that he'll be good enough for me to want to hang on to for too many years. Our DH options right now are Jake Bauers and Gary Sanchez, both projected to be gone out of the system. And in 2027, it switches over to Garrett Mitchell. He leaves in 2028 as well, though. So the guys that we have now in most of these positions are okay or they're aging out. There's not really many guys that are projected to stay. I mean, there are some, and they're certainly in some good positions, but I think you see what I'm talking about. As we move further out into the depth chart, 2027 for relievers, we've got Abner at 87, which is nice, but McGill's projected to go. Ashby, I'm not sure if he'll continue to perform at such a level. And he's got a 78 rating projected in 2028. But yeah, the whole relieving staff outside of Abner is ranked in the 70s there. And then in 2029, there is an exodus of contracts where most of the staff will be leaving. I know relievers are probably the most volatile position, and it's really hard to develop them. Sometimes you just have to trade for the hot hand and who's having a good year. So it's difficult at reliever. I don't project myself drafting very many of them, so we'll have to tinker pretty much each year with the bullpen and try to put together a good staff that will perform for us. But the rest of the team needs some work, and we need to start future-proofing right now. So taking a look at free agency right now reveals the top 3 free agents currently are Lucas Giolito, Spencer Turnbull, and Alex Cobb. Now, Cobb at 38, I don't think that anybody's going to sign him. He's still got good stuff, but I think it's just too unreliable at that age. I wouldn't trust the longevity of a baseball season with Alex Cobb. Spencer Turnbull still could put in some good performances at 33. He's not too old, but I think that Lucas Giolito is the clear front runner, and he is the number 1 free agent. At 31 years of age as a starting pitcher, he still should have a few good years left of service. He's got a 75 overall rating right now, and he has B potential. He's got stamina still for plenty of innings. He's got clutch at 79, and he limits the hitting to lefties the best, and he does also limit home runs. I think there's enough here to work with, and I'd like to offer Giolito a contract. I think a 3-year deal for $29 million would be appropriate for Giolito. It's an average annual value of 9.7, which is less than what he's looking for. But we do get contract interest bonus from being a top tier coaching staff, which he loves. And region none, but he's thrilled with it. I don't know really what that means, but I'll take the bonus there. So his interest is pretty high, and I think this should be enough to get it done. He says the length is right, but the salary is too low. So let's up it to $30 million, a flat 10 a year. And he's playing hardball. All right, 10.3 a year. No. 3 years, $32 million. He will sign it. We've got another starting pitcher to the staff, which means we need to make some room. Lucas Giolito will slot in the 5 spot for our starting rotation, which will leave Brandon Sproat, Logan Henderson, and Kyle Harrison, leaving long relief. But that's too many guys. We got to get rid of some of them. So looking at Brandon Sproat, he's got B potential, and he's 25 years old with very, very limited MLB service time. He has 3 options left, and I think that if we're going to get serious about developing him, he needs to have playtime. So that means starts in AAA. With him gone, that leaves Logan Henderson and Kyle Harrison. So which one of these guys will stay? Well, Henderson is 24 years old with B potential and a 69 overall. I would love to see him develop a little bit more for us. And Kyle Harrison is almost the same. He's 24 years old, but he does have C potential. And at a 72 overall, he might be about as good as he's going to get. And he also throws lefty, which I do value a little bit heavier. So I think Harrison is going to get the stay in the bullpen, and Henderson's going to go down. The next order of business is to add just one more reliever to the MLB squad. Michael Kopech is the 3rd highest ranked reliever in the free agency right now. At 29 years old and a 71 overall, he's got B potential, and he's a reverse splits pitcher. He does extraordinarily well against left-handed batters, so I do value that. He's also got 85 clutch. So the overall is not flashy, but I do feel like he'll be able to get some good results for us. He's got excellent break on all of his pitches. And despite a lack of control, I think that the clutch, the strikeouts, and limiting the hits will ultimately serve us pretty well. So we'll take a chance on Kopech if he'll accept a contract. I'm going to offer him 3 years for $13 million. It's a slight overpay from what he's asking for. He wants 4.2 a year, but I think for 3 years at age 29, that's a satisfying amount of time to see how a reliever serves us. So I wonder if he'll accept. And that's what he's looking for. So we've got another arm in the pen. One new feature in MLB The Show 26 is the addition of the Untouchables, where you can select players that you will not be trading and will not take offers on. I've selected only 10. I feel like 20 is far too high of a number. That's nearly the entire major league roster. So I think that it's unrealistic to have 20 guys. I know you don't have to designate only MLB players. It can go through any of the roster, but I think 20 is still far too much because realistically, there's not that many players on a team, I think, that they would be absolutely not hearing any offers for at all. So I've limited myself really to just 10. It's Contreras, Turang, Chorio, Mizorowski, Uribe, Frelick, Made. I think that's just how I'm going to say it. Cuero, Cato. I'm not sure how to say that either. Williams and Cooper Pratt. I'm also indicating to the league that we are looking for first baseman, third baseman, and center fielders. So I will be taking offers with those in mind. I've also put up 4 players onto the trade block immediately. It's Brandon Woodruff, Christian Yelich, Trevor McGill, and Andrew Vaughn. Now, Yelich is our left fielder, but I think that at 34 years old and 12 years of MLB service time, he should be declining in his abilities here very rapidly. And he's also on a longer contract, which I am seeking to dump. So if I can get a good offer for Yelich, I'm probably going to take it. So with all the behind the scenes and behind the front office desk work done now, we will move into opening day, where Brandon Woodruff will get the start against Shane Smith. Welcome, everybody, to the new franchise in MLB The Show 26. It's the Milwaukee Brewers, and it's a team that I have never played with before. We've already made some changes, and we are beginning the early stages of laying the groundwork for a successful franchise. And it all begins here with opening day, where we are introduced to the team and the players that we will be keeping for years to come, other guys who will be leaving shortly. But it's an important time, and it's the best day of the year. Taking the mound for us is trade block candidate already, Brandon Woodruff. Now, I expect him to be very good, but with his contract running out, the time for us to get value from him is also running out. We'll begin here against Chase. Is that Mydroth? I'm not sure. Midroth? One of the things that you'll learn about me if you are new to the channel is I'm terrible at pronunciations, so I will take corrections, but please just know that they're not intentional. I genuinely am bad at guessing. Kyle Teal will take ball 1 outside. I'm really, really happy about having the ABS system here in MLB The Show 26. I think that came just at the right time, as well as it has been awesome to watch in the MLB season. Look at the call on the outer edge. That might have actually been a ball. I'll go circle change low and away here to Teal. And Woodruff is going to have to throw another one. Contreras might have caught that one in the not-so-fun place there. As Teal 1 and 2 swings and just barely gets a piece of that sinker. For anybody, again, that is new to the channel, I do play with this team. It's not a simulation entirely. I will be simulating plenty of games, of course. I'm not expecting anybody to watch 162 games a year, but I think that the balance of gameplay versus spreadsheet kind of talk or visuals is very important to get right, and I'm going to do my best to do you guys justice there, but I'll be playing plenty of games and plenty of situations, and we do finally get Kyle Teal out looking. Woodruff drops in the 12 curve. So there'll be a lot of gameplay on this channel, and I'm really looking forward to putting in a lot of time here. We've got plenty to go until next year's release of MLB The Show, which was part of the race to finish MLB The 25, and I did lose that race. Taking the mound for the Chicago White Sox is Shane Smith, who did put together a very good year last year. 146 innings and a sub-4 ERA is fully acceptable, but he appears to be the ace of the White Sox organization. And I know that that's a very common team to pick for rebuilds or franchise videos that people do, but I didn't want to take what I'd consider the low-hanging fruit and pick the clear worst teams. I just want to do something different, and I don't know how commonly the Milwaukee Brewers are being chosen by anybody out there, but I thought that it was a good choice. And oh my gosh, he dropped it in center field. Terang's going to turn that into a double, and then the throw in. Yeah, this is definitely the White Sox. Well, what a strange way to start. It's actually classified as a hit according to the scoreboard up there, as Smith misses above the zone to Contreras. Wow. That was a pretty wild beginning here. So we've got a man in scoring position immediately off of a string of errors, and Contreras hits the dirt as it comes flying high near the head. Well, kind of. He's a shorter guy, but you know what I mean. 2-0 here, as it's not been a pretty start. And 3 misses in a row. Contreras not having to do anything other than dodge the bullets here to begin the opening salvo of the game. We'll let Smith get that strike through. I won't contest strike 1 on a 3-0 count. It's a little too early to worry about any type of long-term strategy yet. And we are behind on that fastball. So a miss there will load the count full now. And Smith is seeking to get out with a positive result here. We get that one lifted over to third base, but it is a routine ground out. Contreras is done. Christian Yelich now takes the batter's box for the first time. And again, for anybody new to the channel, I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for your time, and I do welcome suggestions, critiques, whatever you want. Go ahead and leave it in the comments. Let me know what I'm doing right or wrong, what you're interested in seeing, players to follow and look out for. If you guys know more about the Brewers than I do, and that's a pretty low bar to pass, I could use all the help that I can get. Chorio's going to take that one, and I'm not challenging it. Yeah, it's got the corner. It looked like it would nab it. Developing a strategy for the challenge system is also going to be something that will be a work in progress for me. I'm not sure how much I want to limit it, if I want to intentionally and arbitrarily say that I don't use a challenge before a certain inning or a certain kind of situation, what the count would be. You know, I don't know all those answers right now. So I'm working basically on just what feels right. And if it feels too early, I'm not going to challenge a ball. I'm going to let it go. It's a 1-2 count here to Churio. And we get around on that one, but it is fouled away. 96 at the top. And we'll do 1-2 again. And just a matter of trying to defend the zone. It looked like the 12 curve was coming in a little more than that. So we'll strand a base runner early. There's plenty of baseball left here on opening day. Andrew Benintendi steps to the plate now as Woodruff only needed 11 pitches to get out of the first inning. That looked like he went around. Third base umpire disagrees. So Benintendi will have a 1-0 count here, and we'll go cutter inside. That's hit well, but well foul. All right, we'll give him some heat up and outside on the 1-1 count. That's a big miss from Woodruff, but it's only fouled away. We go now to the circle change, aiming low and away. And he does not bite. All right, what about a cutter in just about the same spot? I don't really want this to be a strike. I just want it to be close. And we got him to swing over it. That's great. Woodruff gets a strikeout. I try to also keep an eye on the projections down on the bottom of the screen throughout the game, especially early on in the year, where we can see the projections of how the team is supposed to do, how our rivals are supposed to be doing as well. So it's always fun to look at this, and if we can remember back later in the year and see how accurate those predictions were, it is very interesting. We've missed a couple now here to Austin Hayes, former Baltimore Oriole player who I enjoyed. And he did go around on the cutter. I do kind of wish that we had a little bit more movement. I'd like to see a slider, but this cutter will have to suffice on the 2-2 count. And Hayes to center field. It will get dumped in there. A line drive, 1-out single. I also do a lot of just kind of like non-stop talking here in the full game plays. I don't skip ahead. I don't fish for highlights. I give it to you guys. Oh, Woodruff may assist in a double play here. Nope, it's off the mound and an error. That's why pitchers are not relied on for defense. Unfortunate. But anyways, it's more of a stream of consciousness kind of a deal. When I play a full game, you guys get to hear the unfiltered thoughts, and that might not be to everybody's liking, but for me, number one, it's the most natural, but also it's less editing for me to do, just to leave all of that in. And if I talk out a lot of the strategies that I'm considering or how I think about certain situations, I feel like there's some value in there, at least to some people that appreciate the deeper thoughts and not just putting together, you know, TikTok shorts for some flashy highlights to make me look good. This is who I am, and this is what I do, and I'm going to let you know what I think, and that's just how I like to make these videos. Swing and a miss from Vargas, and we might get out of this situation as we've got 2 on here. I'm going to try a 12-6 curve outside, 1-2. It goes just way high, and that's not tantalizing enough for Vargas. All right, I'm going to try a sinker going down and in. It just goes in, but it does jam Vargas enough. It's a center field fly out, and the White Sox will strand 2. Andrew Vaughn now to the plate as Smith got out of the first inning with only 15 pitches, but as we have provided a chance for the White Sox to score in that early first inning off the error, I'd like to get something moving in our direction here in the second, and it will not begin with Andrew Vaughn as we just pop out on the first pitch. Sal Frelick now in the 6th spot will take his first at-bat of the year. And we go after that fastball, but foul it away. If you guys have been playing MLB The Show, I'd love to hear if you've chosen any specific teams for franchise. Meant to check that. That's a bad one to swing at. That's terrible. But if you guys have had any experiences so far in the franchise mode, I'd love to hear what's happened with you guys. And we make another mistake choice there. It's interesting to me always to hear why people pick certain teams or what the challenge you give yourself is. You know, I think the Brewers, like I said, they're definitely a very skilled team right now on the MLB level. But as I've discussed at the top, I think that the pipeline to the future generation of Brewers players is just simply not there. So I think that there's plenty of work to be done, and we're going to do as much as we possibly can to bring a World Series home to Milwaukee. It's an 0-2 count, and he gets that fastball by us. Just a swing and a miss, and that'll end the second. Really a routine inning for him. Begin here against Derek Hill in the 9 spot. I'm going to give him a cutter low and inside. And it just goes low middle. We'll go back to a sinker then, see if we can get that to trail in. Yep, that did pretty good. AL playoff predictions on the bottom of the screen show the Yankees are the favorites, trailed by the Mariners, Royals, Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Astros. Not too many surprises there. Cutter trailing away is fouled away by Hill to stay alive and maintain an 0-2 count. NL playoff predictions, Dodgers, Phillies, Cubs, and that is a ground out from Hill. And then the Mets, Braves, and Padres. Again, not really many surprises there. We'll have to see how we do against the Cubs interdivision-wise. Historically, at least over the last 7 or 8 years, the Brewers have had the Cubs' number. And I know that because I'm a fan of the Cubs. So we'll have to see how much art imitates life here in this franchise. And that's out number 2 off of routine grounder. Kyle Teal comes back in. We'll begin off speed with the circle change to him. And he takes that to center field. It's a 2-out line drive single. Teal is on. Colson Montgomery now here. I had him in my previous franchise. Runner goes to second, and it's not a good throw or pop, really, behind the plate. So he takes second base. It's the first stolen base allowed this year. The 0-1 count to Montgomery, swing and a miss on a fastball away. And I'd like to drop a 12-6 curve. That is fouled. Montgomery was wise to the speed change there. All right, well, what about a cutter going low and inside? Can we tie him up? He gets a piece. He'll stay alive for one more. And I'm going to try to go fastball high and inside. He hits that, but he's underneath it into center field, and we will strand another White Sox base runner. Joey Ortiz now, as we are ending the initial lineup here. He's in the 8th spot. And Shane Smith, after a very quick second inning, begins with a fastball we foul away. It's always fun and exciting to begin a franchise before you get into the dog days of, year 3 and no prospects, or you've maxed out your budget and the guys are still underperforming, there's a lot of storylines to follow, and it only gets more and more complex as you get deeper into franchise mode. And Hamilton with a sharp line out to shortstop. It's another 2 quick outs here for Shane Smith. But the storylines that you follow, the ones that you create, and the players that you start developing an affinity for, I'm really looking forward to it. And at the start of a franchise, for me, is obviously the freshest that it will ever be, because you only start to build the positive and the negative from here on out. And that's a perfect shot, but it is another line drive out to Montgomery at short. Dang. So far, I feel like Woodruff has been about as good as I expected him to be. 3 solid innings minus the defensive flub that he had in the first. And we'll begin in the 4th on an 0-2 count now to Benintendi off the foul ball. We'll go to a circle change low and away. And he chased it, but he did get a tip. Change the speed and give some elevation 0-2. Fastball. Swings underneath it, and we've got another strikeout for Woodruff. I do wish that there was a realistic way for us to keep Woodruff, but I don't see it in the cards. He'd be too expensive. And the Brewers don't have an extraordinary low budget, like I said in the breakdown at the beginning of the video, but they don't have a very large budget. And if we tie up something like 15 to 20% on just one player, I think that we need to make sure that we have him for longer and that there's a sustained level that he can realistically be expected to achieve. And I think Woodruff is just outside of those criteria for me. He's just not quite a guy that I want to bank a franchise on and tie up that budget to that degree. Baldwin looks at strike 2, and I'm going to go fastball inside. Not intended to be a strike. I want to swing and a miss, and we will not get it as Baldwin holds back. Okay, what about a cutter? And let's go under the zone, trailing in. Really good one. And Baldwin, again, made of stone, doesn't go after it. So we'll switch back to the circle change, and the off speed gets him to swing over the top. Excellent inning for Woodruff. This game is moving pretty quick. Only 3 hits total for anybody. And now in the bottom of the 4th, Contreras is back to the plate, and we swing on the first pitch. We're getting a little more aggressive here to begin this game than I anticipated, but I do feel like he's given us plenty to swing at. So if we're getting quality pitches, then I guess instinctually I don't hold back that much. I do really enjoy dragging out pitchers' stamina and trying to get these starters to throw a lot, but that's not been what's happened so far in this game. Smith hasn't been very consistent with trying to nail the corners. I think he's had a lot of misses so far, and some of those may have been the ones that are really in the zone that we've gone after. Other times we've gotten fooled in these at-bats. And that's a good 3-1 ball to swing at, but Contreras can only foul it away. We're just late on that timing. Dead center of the zone pretty much. So the count goes full. Smith delivers. And we swing underneath it. 98. Contreras can't grab it. Typically on at least the hitting side of the ball, my weakness is usually under the zone. That's been my kryptonite in every franchise that I've ever had. Every time that I play this game, the bottom of the zone is typically where I have the most failure. And Yelich gets a good piece of that one, but we're early on the timing, so we can only drive it foul, and it's now a 1-1 count. I also religiously check the starter stamina in between pitches here. I'll do, X to do the batting motion that batter likes, and I'll take a look at the energy level, the confidence, and we swing over the top of that circle change. It's coming in at 88, but it looks faster than that, so we swing early. And Smith has used a lot of the four-seamer and only one slider, it looks like, but we got a hit off of a sinker. That's a nice little stat box there. I like when they include those deeper cuts like that. And Chourio with 2 outs will watch ball 1 outside. Thank you, random fan. I also enjoy being patient. I just can't really help it sometimes. That's a miss way above the zone from Smith, and it's a 2-0 count. Confidence is still high, though, despite a lot of pitches going outside the zone. So I don't know if it's intentional or not. That was definitely ball 3, but we swung at it. I get fooled inside a lot of the time. And that we timed just late, but Chourio is underneath it. It's a pop-up into shallow right field, and another inning down. For, again, any newcomers to the channel, I am also, just to be clear, playing on Hall of Fame difficulty. I feel like All-Star and Veteran are just a touch too easy, and Legendary and GOAT I feel to be too challenging for me to realistically play. So I think that Hall of Fame is a nice sweet spot for me. As it's stopped at first base, we're going to throw over, and Woodruff covers successfully. Sosa is out. So, yeah, I'm playing on Hall of Fame. I felt like when I got to that level that it is absolutely very challenging, but it is still achievable. And taking the Pirates in my last franchise all the way to the World Series solidified that I am capable of playing at a high level on that difficulty. And I like it to be challenging enough to allow the stats to reflect that this is an incredibly difficult game. Baseball, I think, is the hardest sport to play, and I think mathematically that's been proven. It's hardest to hit a baseball over anything else in another sport. I think that's a fact. You can definitely check me on it, but I believe that to be true. So with that in mind, that's the difficulty I play on, and hopefully that's fine for you guys to watch as well. I definitely don't want it to be too easy to where I'm mashing home runs all the time or striking guys out. 12, 13 batters are going down each game. It's just not realistic, and it's not the way that I like to play really either. Throw to second just in case, but no movement there. It's a 2-2 count now to Derek Hill, and I'm going to try to jam him with a fastball high and in. Top of the zone, gets him to swing underneath it. Hill goes down. We got out number 2. That is 6 strikeouts, and we have been mixing it up, not using the 12 curve very much. They've gotten 2 hits off that circle change, though, so maybe we be careful with that. It's, again, another reason I really like that. It tells me if I'm leaning more towards a certain pitch, and maybe I shouldn't be. And that's fouled away, so it's a 1-1 count here as the lineup has turned over for the Chicago White Sox.
Ball, that's off the plate.
Ooh, that's very close, but I think that is, yeah, that's a ball. Okay. We'll go Cutter away on the 2-1. And that's it to second base. We'll take the longer throw, but the more secure one for me. And we've stranded another White Sox base runner. It seems to be a theme every inning now. Halfway through opening day as we're in the bottom of the 5th, and it has not quite been a pitcher's duel, but it has been a very quickly paced game so far as Vaughn is going to ground out rather to first base to begin the 5th in much the same manner that the other innings have started. A pretty quick out for Shane Smith. Sal Frelick now to the plate. And we go after that circle change nearly in the dirt. A bad pitch to swing on. And it's a miss anyways. 0-1 here. And another. That 12-6 curve is pretty nasty. It looks like it starts above the zone and drops way underneath it. So a lot of movement on that. And another one. Thought it was coming back down now. So Shane Smith with an excellent sequence to fool me. And that is the 5th time he struck us out. I'm not liking the pace at which we're getting struck out there. But hopefully we won't have to deal with Smith for very long. Preferably I'd like to force him out of this game. But the energy level might go as well. We're not helping that cause, though, with the one pitch out to end the inning. It's just, man, not getting good results here. We begin inning number 6 with Woodruff still in a good place with his stamina. He's had 73 pitches to get through 5 innings, and that's about the right pace that I would expect. On the 0-1, we'll go back to a fastball. That's a miss, and it's launched into center field from Kyle Teal, but it is a out. Montgomery back to the plate, and we'll try to jam him low and inside. That's a miss, and Montgomery mistimes it, luckily for us. All right, so we'll go Cutter now low and in. We'll put some movement on that location. And we do jam him, this time inside the left field, and Montgomery is out number 2. Andrew Benintendi up to finish out the top of the 6th inning as it's been very quick and another extremely quick out. So we might be able to get 7 out of Woodruff. I don't know. We'll see. Back to the plate for Joey Ortiz. And we have only gotten 1 hit against the White Sox. Realizing that is pretty disheartening, actually, because there's an inherent expectation to facing a team like the White Sox, but I do think that they're a lot better than last year, both in real life, and I think the simulation is going to treat them a lot kinder. They, of course, had a historically bad run that was the talk of Major League Baseball not that long ago, and the White Sox, I think, are in a better place now. So maybe the expectation is unwarranted, but I think against any team, you got to expect more than 1 hit through 6 innings. So we get this one. It's good timing, but Ortiz is underneath it a bit too much. Popped up into left center field for out number 1. We'll see if David Hamilton can end this abysmal streak for us now. We got our first hit pretty early in the ball game, and it actually was supposed to, I think, have been an error against the White Sox, but they gave us a hit on the board anyways. But other than that, this would be a no-no right now. And I don't want to give that an opening day. That's pretty terrible. We went around on ball 2, so it's a 1-1 count for Hamilton. And we will watch that one. We'll give a little bit of discipline in this at-bat at least. And it's a 2-1 count. Watches that above the zone, and now we've got the advantage. All 4 pitches have been outside the zone, and Shane Smith delivers dead center meatball at 95. Well, we were late on the timing. 95 comes at you pretty quick, and it's a full count. And we do get that one. It is a bloop, and our first actual true hit comes from the 9-hitter. David Hamilton is on board with 1 out. And turning the lineup over, it's Bryce Terang. He was the guy that got our hit in the first inning. And we're late on 96. Yeah, I didn't even have to see the board for that. We've also got 99 steal and 92 speed on first base, which I just noticed. Well, I'm absolutely sending him. I'd love for this to be a team that steals a lot of bases. And we'll open opening day with David Hamilton taking the first one. So no 2 count, though, as we took a strike to sacrifice that stolen base. And we'll fight away that strike 3. Well, it would have been a ball, but I don't know. Terang made contact with it, so it ends up being strike 2 again. And that is a miss from Smith, as he is also now officially fatigued. Confidence is still high, but the control is going to start hitting a penalty. So we may be able to show some more patience here. That's ball 2 outside. 1 down, scoring position. And that is ball 3. We might have made that with the speed, but I think that safer just to leave him there. And it's a full count now. Terang seeking the first run of the day. Can he do it? Smith delivers ball 4. We've got 2 men on now with 1 out, and we open up a double play opportunity. But we also put another man on the board for William Contreras. Another piece on the board. Maybe I'll say it that way. Contreras hasn't had a hit yet today, and that's a soft grounder to third, and the White Sox will turn 2 and strand our 2 base runners. It took a lot of effort to finally get some, and they spoil it for us. And Woodruff is also officially fatigued now, but I'd like to see if we can get through 7. We got through the 6th inning in just a handful of pitches. So if we have similar luck here, I'd love for Woodruff to go 7 in opening day. And a ground ball to first is going to remain fair long enough to run it over and get our first out. Brooks Baldwin is next, and we'll begin with a fastball away. And that's lifted into foul territory down the left field line. All right, we'll go Cutter trailing inside on the 0-1. And that's really good. He swings and misses. All right, we'll go circle change now on the 0-2. And he just barely gets a piece of that to stay alive. We'll go back to the 12-6 on the 0-2. I'm not aiming this inside the zone. I'm going to challenge that. I think that actually scraped the bottom. We'll do our first challenge in the 7th inning. It comes in high, and it lands for strike 3. We got him, and the first successful challenge of this franchise. That's a nice one to get. 2 down now here for Lennon Sosa. And the sinker is brought into the foul territory of right field. We'll do a fastball low and away. And that trims the bottom edge. Sosa doesn't like it, though. He's going to challenge it. And it is, in fact, a ball. He's correct. 2 challenges in quick succession here. So we'll go Cutter away on the 1-1 now. And he lifts that into right field. Woodruff puts together strong 7 innings for us on opening day. Well done. The White Sox will change first. It's going to be Sean Newcomb. Through 92 innings pitched last year in 48 games, he had a 2.73 ERA. That's very good. 3, 4, and 5 due up. It's the heart of the order, and Newcomb is a lefty pitching first to Christian Yelich. That's a miss on the slurve inside. Wow, Yelich has a very good history against Newcomb. That's nice. 7 for 15. A 1-0 count. And it's another miss inside on that cutter, as the Sox are also warming up Dominguez and Gilbert. 2-0 to begin. Fastball, slurve, sinker, cutter, and circle change is the arsenal for Sean Newcomb. And we'll swing at that fastball. I thought it was going to come down a little bit more. That's higher than I wanted, really. Right on the belt line. I'd like to bring that down into the wheelhouse, but it's 2-1. And we get good contact there. It says just late, but that's pretty much in the green. Yelich with a long fly out to begin inning number 7. Jackson Chourio now in the 4 spot. Still looking for his first hit. There has not been many to go around for either team this game, and Chourio to center field is not going to get one either. So now we turn to Andrew Vaughn. Only 5 pitches for Newcomb to get 2 outs. The pace has been very quick on both sides of the ball. I twitched at it. I wanted it a little bit, but it's not a quality pitch to swing at. It's a good spot for Newcomb. I'm going to wait and see if we can get something better. That's not better for us, but we will take a ball. 1-1 count here. Newcomb's got plenty of options to try to get this final out. And he'll miss on that circle change. I like the movement on that pitch, and it comes in slow. That was 84. 2-1 count. And that's something good to hit. We even timed it well, but it's just another fly out to center field. And 7 scoreless innings for both teams now. I am going to bring in Abner Uribe. He pitched 75 games and had matching innings with the 1.67 ERA and a 1.04 whip. This guy was awesome last year, and I hope that continues. We'll begin with a fastball to Miguel Vargas, called for a strike inside. I'm then going to go sinker. That misses the mark, but in center field, we've got a good reaction to get us the first out of the game. For Uribe, that is. Going to throw a slider at Derek Hill now, and he attempted the bunt, but it will trail foul. All right, we'll go back to the sinker, low and inside. Just goes inside, not low. All right, what about a fastball away? Bottom of the zone, and at shortstop, we throw over. He's very quick, but we've got him for out number 2. So far, it's been pretty casual for Abner Uribe. As now the lineup turns over, it's fouled away by, I think it's Mydroth. I don't know. I truly don't. All right, fastball high and away. Just goes away. We get the call, and we'll go back to the slider now. The 0-2. No swing on it. It's not close enough. And let's go back to it. I want to try again. Okay, we got a broken bat, and it will be brought down in foul territory. Out number 3. Nice job. The Sox are going to leave in Sean Newcomb here in the bottom of the 8th, at least to begin the inning for Sal Frelick. And that's hit pretty well. It's going to go out into right center, and it does find the gap. It falls down, so Frelick is going to be on. I'm going to send him. It looked like there was a slow reaction, and yes, he's in there for a triple. This is easily the best scoring opportunity we have now, as he puts himself 90 feet away from taking the lead in this game. And Jake Bowers is going to step in, trying to bring him home. I'm also thinking of the possibility of bunting this ball, but with no outs right now, I'm going to see what we can do. I just need something. Oh, brother. I just need something out of the infield, as that's not even going to make it past the grass. Wow. All right, well, what about Joey Ortiz? Can he get this run home? Just need something in play, really. It doesn't even necessarily have to be, like, far out of the end zone. Just not to third base and don't hit it very hard, maybe. A swinging bunt. That'd be nice. Gotten a piece of the first 2, but it puts us in the hole 0-2. Come on, man. We got to get this run in. That's a miss as the slurve tracks well inside, and it's 1-2. Chance of let's go Brewers from the Milwaukee faithful. And we do time that one pretty well. It goes back deep into left field, continues to go, and Ortiz says, don't worry about that runner, I've got this. It's our first home run of the year. And it comes late in opening day. Ortiz, 401 feet, and it's out of here. And David Hamilton's going to step back in. There's still only 1 out now as we have finally cracked the scoreboard. We got our first 2 runs. Hamilton weakly into center field. And it is brought down for out number 2. That'll be it, though, for the Sox, as they're going to make a change, and they're going to be bringing in Tyler Gilbert. He's been warming up for a little while now, but through 51 innings last year, he had a 3.88 ERA, So that's pretty solid. It's not a bad stat line. We got 2 outs here as the lineup turns over for the last time, and it's Bryce Terang. We'll let that one go. 0-1 after the sweeper. Can we add any more? We go after that sinker, and we can only foul it away. 0-2 now. I expect probably that sweeper one more time. Probably trailing away. Oh, I even called for it. That's hilarious. Wow. But it's time to close this thing down as we got the lead late in the game, and we need to protect it one last time. 3 outs is all we need, and we're bringing in the closer to do it. It is Trevor McGill. He saved 30 out of 36 opportunities last year, and I'm hoping that we're going to see a lot of saves from him this year. He's one of the guys that I'm not really worried about how he performs. I feel like it's going to be very good. We get ahead of Kyle Teal very quickly. We'll go to that circle. No, not circle change. Knuckle curve. That's right. It's a swing and a miss from Teal, and that's 3 strikes and an out already. Colson Montgomery up to the plate. We'll watch strike 1. It's a 2-seamer called, and he's challenging that pitch. Might as well at this point in the game, and it's upheld. It's there by a pixel. Wow. I know the ABS system was contentious before the start of this MLB season, and calls like that are definitely going to be justifiably upsetting people, but I think that the drama that the ABS brings is far more preferable than the drama of the umpire show that we've been used to for so many years. It's a fly out in center field. Montgomery's down, and the White Sox are up to their final batter. It's the number 4 cleanup hitter, Andrew Benintendi. Do a fastball high and away. We've got it. 101. It's an absolute scorcher. We'll do a 2-seamer now low. It just goes away, and it's 98 fouled off. And let's go ahead and use one of the last new features to talk about, the bear down pitching feature for MLB The Show 26. It's a swing and a miss, and McGill has an excellent 9th inning for us, which gives the Brewers their first win of the year and the first win of the franchise. We didn't quite have as much excitement as I would have hoped for on our end, as the bats couldn't really do much, but the pitching served us well, and we got a clutch home run that gave us the lead and ultimately the victory. Well done, guys. Well, everybody in the division except for the Pirates won on opening day, so a strong start for the NL Central, and the Brewers on top for now. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I appreciate your time, and I will catch you as we move forward into year 1 and get into some new exciting things with this team. I'll catch you guys soon.